Hey everyone, Byron Hatcher, your Middle T and home expert with Benchmark Realty here. I just wanted to break down a couple of graphs and present some data with you because I have buyers and sellers and investors who ask me what happened in Middle Tennessee during the 2008 recession. How long did it take for us to recover? What types of financing dominate the market here in Middle Tennessee? Well, I'm going to answer all of those questions for you right now, and I'm not going to waste any time. So here, looking at the first slide, as you can see, if you take a look at the top left, total single-family homes sold, I'm deriving data from the MLS. And what that means, the MLS is the multiple listing service. It's also called RealTracs, and it comprises of all of the listings that realtors list and sell in Middle Tennessee. And that's important because realtor listings make up more than 95 to 97% of the market. Off-market homes, lease to own, for sale by owners, and some of these other types of homes that close, they constitute less than 3 to 5% of the market. So the data that you're looking at here is more than the majority. It's the dominant portion of the market. So these numbers are pretty accurate. Now, as far as what happened during the 2008 recession, if you take a look, the average sales price definitely took a hit, but the total number of homes sold probably took the hardest hit. In 2007, there were about 37,576 homes that sold, and in 2008, that number dropped by 10,000, which is almost 25% of the year before. And that's a pretty big hit. And what you can take away from both of these slides and both of these charts is that years 2008 through 2011 were the hardest years that were hit. Those either 3.5 or 4 years. So it took about that long for the downswing in the recession to cycle itself out in order for us to get back on a steep incline. And that's what we're on right now. So if you take a look at the average sales price here, you'll notice that the low was in 2009. It jumped in 2010. In 2011, it stayed roughly right at about the same, and then in 2012, it really started taking off. So that's what's going on with the average sales price. The total number of homes sold, as you can see in 2017, is almost 10,000 homes higher than what happened in 2007. So not only have we recovered, but we have a population influx, as everyone has talked about, and this is indicative of that population influx. And you can see that here. The total number of homes that sold have dramatically increased. Last year, almost 46,000 homes sold in Middle Tennessee. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at the buyer type of financing. Now, in comparison of buyer financing types, this is important because it answers the question, one, what type of financing dominates the Middle Tennessee real estate market? That, without a doubt, has been conventional mortgages for the past 11 years. And why is that important? During the 2008 recession, conventional mortgages actually have the highest down payment. For most lenders, that's a minimum of 5% down. Some lenders can do 3% down, but most of them do 5% down. So during the 2008 recession, you'll notice that the number of conventional buyers in 2008, 9, 10, 11, that number sank dramatically because during that time, a lot of people obviously were concerned about the expendable income that they had, and they were holding on to their earnings. They weren't spending their earnings. And that actually, whenever a recession happens, slows down the recovery of the economy because whenever households spend less money, it keeps money out of the pockets of people who need the recovery, such as your local small businesses, your Walmarts and people like that. They're going to take a little bit of a hit, but a lot of your local small town businesses and the housing market in particular, car sales and other things of that nature are going to take the hardest hit because people hang on to that down payment money and they don't spend it because they worry about the economy. So moving forward, with that being said, it also answers another question. Cash buyers. Are cash buyers taking over our market and preventing homes from being sold to first-time home buyers and other people in the market? Are investors taking over our market? Well, as you can see here in 2017, the number of cash purchases are actually fairly in line with the number of FHA. That number is about the same, and most of your first-time home buyers are going to be FHA 3.5% down payment buyers because they have the most relaxed lending restrictions. They only have a minimum 580 credit score, and they have the highest debt-to-income ratio allowed. In other words, you can have a higher debt and be approved for a mortgage with FHA than you can with a conventional or a VA or other types like USDA and some of these others. And USDA is not mentioned here because USDA comprised of an even smaller number of the market. These are the big four: cash, conventional, FHA, and VA. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about that in another video about how cash purchases affect certain price ranges. And I'm going to break that down into a graph as well, and we'll talk about price range and how it affects buyers here in Middle Tennessee. But as you can see, the blue bars under number of homes sold annually based on financing type, that blue bar is the conventional type of financing. And if you remember from the previous slide, it is directly parallel with the total number of homes sold and the average sales price. It fluctuates along with it. So again, my name is Byron Hatcher. I'm with Benchmark Realty. I'm your Middle TN home expert. If you go to middletnhomeexpert.com and you look on the right-hand side, you'll see a link under useful information or useful resources that says Stats for Nerds. If you click that link, it'll take you to my page that I upload all of the stats on. And if you just like taking a look at that stuff and you like having market knowledge, that's a good place for you to go for you to stay on top of the market and stay informed. As always, I love working with you guys. I appreciate you watching. And if I can ever answer any questions for you, my telephone number and my email address are on the screen. Thank you for checking out middletnhomeexpert.com, and thank you for making me your Middle TN home expert. You guys have a blessed day.